Did you set your clock forward for daylight savings time?
What? Why do we have to do that?
Well, at the start of the spring, we usually have more daylight in the mornings and less in the afternoon. This is basically due to our position on the planet and the rotation of the Earth. In any case, to take better advantage of the daylight available, we compensate by moving our clocks forward 1 hour.
I see. That's convenient. I never understood things like this, such as GMT. I never know what time zone we are in or when to change my clock.
That just stands for Greenwich Mean Time. Here in California, we're in Pacific Standard Time. That is 8 time zones west of Greenwich. Remember when we were in Beijing? Well, then we were in China Standard Time, and that's 8 time zones east of Greenwich.
That's why it was so weird traveling from Beijing to LA, because of the huge time difference. Even though we left Beijing at noon and flew for more than 8 hours, we still arrived in LA the same day at noon. It's like we went back in time. Those are the headlines for today, and now for the International Weather Report with Mike Sanderson.
Thank you, Bob. This past week has been the beginning of Armageddon for many, as a series of unprecedented meteorological events occurred around the world. In Switzerland, a major avalanche was reported in the Alps. Fortunately, no one was injured. Due to the extreme cold this winter, a blizzard has struck the U.S. Midwest, causing classes in schools and universities to be temporarily canceled. Moving on to Latin America, Ecuador has suffered a 6-month drought that has not only affected farming, but has also forced the closure of the hydroelectric power plant that provides electricity for the entire country. In Chile, a major earthquake that registered 7.5 on the Richter scale struck the southern region. Losses are reported to be in the billions. Authorities have not yet released an official statement.
Not a great week for the world. Any good news?
I'm afraid not, Bob. One of the major volcanoes in Mexico has erupted, causing major floods and landslides in the region. Meanwhile, Mexico's coast has been hit by Hurricane Liliana, and officials say that all the seismic activity leads them to believe that a tsunami may hit Central America, affecting Honduras, Guatemala, and Panama. That's all the news we have for today, but stay tuned for updates on the 6 o'clock news. Back to you, Bob.
Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, let's get straight to it. You have saved up your money for years and are now ready to build your dream home. What did you have in mind?
A suburban bungalow straight out of the 60s. A perfect lawn with minimal landscaping, a brick patio in the backyard with an old-fashioned grill, quaint lawn furniture, and a swimming pool. A 2-car carport, pastel siding, and a gable roof, completed with white shutters and a white picket fence.
Honey?
In the living room, we would have moss green rugs and a fireplace with a stone mantel and wood paneling on the walls. In the kitchen, the cupboards would be a pale yellow, and we would have a turquoise metal oven and vinyl flooring.
Sweetie, but I was thinking of more a modern style house, an open concept house, all glass, wood, metal, and concrete.
But sweetums, there's always a lot of wasted space in those kinds of homes. Besides, it's just a fad. It doesn't have the homey feeling the old homes do.
Sweetie Pie, it's not a lot of wasted space. It is relaxing, and the house would be eco-friendly with an in-floor heating system and designed to retain the heat of the sun in the winter and keep the house cool in the summer. We would have solar panels on the roof.
Do you know how much those things cost?
What about your vintage furniture, dearest? And instead of a lawn, which is also a lot of wasted space and would require environmentally harmful pesticides, we would have a fish pond in the backyard and a garden that would cover the whole yard so we could grow our own food.
But Buttercup, I thought you always said that you loved visiting your grandmother's house.
And I thought you, Mr. Scientist, were all up on saving the planet with your technological advancements.
Well, I am just going to get some coffee while you two keep discussing. Oh man, I had the best supper last night. My wife made a stir fry and it was amazing.
I love stir fry. Crispy bite-sized vegetables covered in a mixture of soy sauce and oyster sauce. Wilted greens and fresh bean sprouts. Throw in some onion and garlic and ginger. It's almost lunchtime. I would die for a plate of stir fry right now.
Well, you can keep the vegetables. I'll take the meat. The stir fry my wife made was really hearty, with chunks of beef and slivers of bell peppers and onion.
What? You call that a stir fry? More meat than vegetables? That's the worst insult you could throw at a Chinese stir fry. What a disgrace to the wok she fried it in. What you had is equivalent to a fajita without the wrap.
Woohoo! This just might be the start of the rest of my life.
What happened?
I'm in the market for a job. I went on a website with hundreds of job listings in the area and browsed through them until I got the names of a few employers I would like to work for. I have the resume I wrote for English class last month, and a cover letter will be a piece of cake to write. I've even done my research and found the names of the managers so I can address the letters personally. And you know, I can be charming in interviews. Goodbye, my penniless days. Hello, salary and a career.
Ben, we're 15. What kind of job are you looking for?
Oh, just for a position as a gas station attendant. You know, starting at a simple lowly job, just like all the greats before they made it big in the world.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just in it for the money, right? How else am I going to be able to afford to keep taking Angela to the movies? Besides, I love the smell of gasoline. Don't you?
Welcome to Bill's Fabric World. What can I do for you today?
I was wondering if you guys also tailor clothes.
Sure we do. We have the best tailors in the country. What is it that you need exactly?
Well, I'm looking to get a custom-made suit.
Excellent. We have the finest cashmeres at affordable prices. How about we get you measured? Let's start off by measuring the width of your shoulders. Now, let's measure the length of your arms and this bit around your neck here.
Can you make sure you leave a little extra space in the collar? My neck gets easily irritated.
No problem. Now for your pants, let me just measure your waist and the inseam.
You might also want to leave a little extra room in the waist area. I tend to gain a few pounds over the holidays.
Okay. Now you can pick your fabric and pattern design. Please, follow me.
Alright, class. Now that we're all dressed up, let's see what professions you chose. I see a fireman, a police officer, a medic, and a lifeguard. Can anyone tell me what these people have in common?
They save people from bad things?
That's right! Now, class, if something bad happened and you had to get help, do you know what phone number you would call?
911.
Yes! You would pick up the phone and dial 911. What are some emergency situations in which you would need to dial 911?
If my grandpa had a heart attack. If there was an accident. If a robber broke into the house. If the fire alarm went off. I wouldn't call 911 if the fire alarm went off in my house. The only time that ever happens is when we're having spaghetti for supper and my mom burns the garlic bread as usual.
Hello everyone and welcome to our CPR for Beginners course. First of all, does anyone know what CPR stands for?
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
That's right. We apply CPR in the case of cardiac arrest or pulmonary arrest.
What does that mean?
Well, basically, if your heart stops pumping blood or your lungs stop pumping air, then we need to get them going again. That's when we have to apply this procedure. Let's begin. I need a volunteer.
Me!
All right, come here and lay flat on your back. Let's suppose this young woman has stopped breathing. We must lift the person's chin so that we clear a pathway for air to get into the lungs. Then, we place our mouth over the other person's mouth and blow air 2 or 3 times, like this.
Wait, what are you doing? I'm a married woman. You can't just try to kiss me like that.
Ma'am, I'm not trying to kiss you. I'm trying to demonstrate how to apply CPR in the case of an emergency.
Well, okay, no French kissing.
As I was saying, we blow air through the mouth in this manner. Once this is done, we must try to get the heart going again. To do this, we place our hands over the person's chest and press down firmly 2 or 3 times.
Wait, what are you doing? You can't just kiss me then go for second base. Hey Joe, where have you been these past few days?
I've been busy with a first aid course that I started about a week ago at the Red Cross.
Cool! I've always wanted to do something like that. Have you learnt anything useful?
For sure. I mean, we learned how to apply pressure to stop bleeding, how to check for a pulse, and even how to apply CPR.
Have you treated any real emergencies?
Well, they took us along with some paramedics. There was this guy who fell off his motorcycle and suffered a concussion as well as a couple of compound fractures. His wounds were pretty serious, so they had to rush him to the hospital. It was intense.
I can imagine. I tend to faint when I see blood, so I think I won't be taking up a course like that anytime soon.
I'm hungry. Let's go grab a bite to eat.
Sure. How about we go home and prepare a couple of sandwiches?
Nah, let's get a burger and fries.
All you ever do is have unhealthy fast food. Pizza, fries, burgers, and hot dogs. You have to start eating better.
What are you talking about? I have salad sometimes.
Yeah, right. I'm serious. You should also cut down on your sugar intake as well. You drink carbonated drinks that are high in fructose syrup. It's really not healthy.
Fine. I'll start drinking water and having home-cooked meals that are low in fat. Are you happy now?
It's a start, but I'll be happy when I see you stick to your promise.
本系列由凯伦学习小铺独家录制，供大家学习使用。 淘宝搜索凯伦学习小铺，享受第一手优质服务。